Go live. We should be live on Facebook. And we should be live on YouTube.
And we're 2 minutes late, which just really perturbs me.
I think we're, well, it's your fault that we're late.
It is not my fault. I was here
100%
at
your fault.
4:57.
Absolutely your fault. Absolutely your fault.
I've been sitting here for 2 minutes.
All right, so we should be live. What's going on, everybody? This is going to be a little crazy because I got 1, 2, 3, 4 screens going. One Vanessa and
Which is the biggest problem,
a bunch of lighting that might burn this place down. But those are really warm. You can feel them. They're kind of nice. What's going on? Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Adorama Tonight. It feels like a news desk, right?
This is 2020.
Well, let's get the chat up.
Yes.
Make sure you guys, we're up.
Hey,
Let us know if we sound okay.
Hey, Tony.
A few
hey,
things
Alvin.
are a little
Thomas.
haphazard. Pop out
Hey,
chat.
Eric. Yeah, I want to be able to talk to the people. This will be great. I'll be constantly like a squirrel.
Okay, cool. All right, so truth be told, this was originally set up for me and Daniel because we used to do all the Adorama critiques, but he has fallen ill, even though he showed up here 5 minutes ago. But he is pretty beat up. So Vanessa Joy.
I wouldn't hug him. I wouldn't go near him.
Yeah, you're actually like, wait.
No.
She went behind a V flag.
To
I have things to do.
Hey, Andy. Hey, Mike.
All right,
Hey,
cool. Mike James in the chat now. It's a party. So we are live on YouTube and Facebook. But what we're gonna do is get through as many images as we can within the next little bit of time, and then we're gonna cut this and we're gonna go to the Twitch channel adoramaxp. If you haven't joined that, go check it out now. Twitch.tv/adoramaxp. If you want to type that in the chat.
Get one screen and 4 Vanessas, Robbie says.
The world
There's
can't handle.
only
The
one
world
Vanessa.
can't handle that much Vanessa. I just asked you to type this in the chat. I don't need more Vanessas if she's going to do this. I just asked you to type this.
You asked me to
Boom.
type it? I was
Yeah.
busy talking to everyone else. Ooh, hello from Spain.
Yeah.
I want to know
Rest in
wherever...
peace, Daniel.
Aw, he's okay.
So if you wanted to know how to submit images, basically you go to our Adorama XP on Twitch. You go to the Discord panel that's sitting there. It automatically invites you to Discord if you're not part of it. And then right here.
Just for those of you who don't know, Discord is a separate app from Twitch app if you are on your phone.
Yeah.
That took me a second to figure out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. I was like in the Discord. I'm like, I don't see
So
that tab.
this is the chat room right here in the Adorama XP Discord right here, the image critique submissions. And those of you who are in there, we will go through your images in a minute. Word to the wise in the chat, I am not playing games. I do not want to see any harsh elitist egos attacking people's images. These are people that are trying to better themselves and get some other eyes on their work. So constructive criticism only. If you get malicious in that chat, I will sick Vanessa on you to literally throw you out of the chat room. I'm not kidding around.
I'm really excited to do that, actually.
Yeah,
so.
we are not doing, we're not playing this game today. Patty's in there? No.
Yeah.
Okay, we got
It's a
Patty,
party.
we
It's a
got
party
Robbie,
now.
we got Chris. Chris was actually at Imaging. We met him. We were in an elevator with him.
That's right.
Yep.
We were in an elevator with a lot of people.
Yeah, what?
I
Yeah.
felt like I lived in the elevator.
This Ricola is like 10 years old in 1 second.
It's kind of gross.
It's really gross. It
You're
tastes like,
eating part of the wax paper right now, aren't you?
I was about to say, it tastes like a dead mothball.
Ew.
Oh,
Anyway,
that was
we're
terrible.
looking forward to all of the images that we get to critique. I'm actually excited to critique with you because you and I see things very differently when it comes to photos.
Yeah, me and Dan are usually on the same page, and we've always done the Adorama critique only in room audience only. It was like Adult
And
Swim.
I was always like, do it online.
And we're doing it.
We're doing it.
But don't forget to join the Twitch channel because you will miss out on the rest of the critique if you don't. Okay. In the chat, really quickly, how many of you people have uploaded images? Tell me, yes, I have, if you have uploaded images to the Discord. I want to see how many people are in the chat. The other rule tonight is if you are not in the chat room at the time we are looking at your image, we skip it. There's no point to us doing a critique for someone who's not in the chat, and that's the rules we've always adhered by for the in-room critique, and then we're going to do the same thing there. If someone's a little late, we can scroll back, but...
That's strike one.
What if your goal is to have Vanessa? Unbelievable.
It is unbelievable.
Yes, okay, so
I
we
didn't
got some
realize that
messages.
you had to be here. I would have said that on things, but that's cool.
I don't see any
I
point
like
to critiquing somebody's book if they're not going to receive the
information.
feedback.
Okay.
So basically,
Okay.
everyone else should feed off of what
Hey, Jay. I know he submitted and he's here.
films by Jay. Oh, I met that dude.
Yeah, that dude.
That guy.
You did.
Do we have a Discord link? Yeah, the Discord link Look how super
You were
protected I am. Oh, whoops, that's not good.
That's Twitch.
Well, that's Twitch. Yeah, I know, but I'm going to the channel, and then I'm going to go down to the Discord, and I'm going to.
Copy and paste.
Oops, I messed up. I can't even do it myself, kids. Here we go. This is the Discord, Apple A, Apple C, and Apple V. That's the Discord right there. You guys, that's an automatic invite, so you guys are welcome to join, but you have to be part of the Twitch channel itself to play with the rest of us. Why is my phone going off?
The Discord channel, just by the way, it's almost like, I don't know, how do you explain it for someone who doesn't know what Discord is? It's like WhatsApp, but for more social. There's more people in there. There's different topic rooms.
It's chat rooms.
It's, like
it's just chat rooms.
Forums.
Yeah, it's like a live forum.
AOL?
Yeah, it's a live forum, and it's like 24/7. So it's mainly for the Twitch channel, which is for gaming. My Discord channel, which you can get on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/lastxwitness, like I am on everything else. That's a very photo-heavy forum. I think you're in that. We get like 1 million messages a second.
Yep.
I love when Seth calls us kids. Well, you know. It is what I might have kids. I don't know.
The Discord is really cool. I don't know.
Here,
I don't know about
you.
but I feel like it's just a more relaxed environment, and I feel more comfortable just kind of being me in there.
Yeah, so. And also for you who don't realize what we do on Adorama's Twitch, the gift codes that we give out on Sundays, some people don't want to use them, and they drop them right here on Discord. And you guys, first come, first serve, get $10 to $15 off your Adorama purchases just by jumping in here.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, it's right here. Share, gift code, share spot. And a lot of people just leave them, see? Look at that, boom.
That's
15 bucks
rare.
dropped, 10 bucks dropped.
Robbie, I have my own glasses. They are real. I don't need Daniels, but thank you.
I don't need Daniels. Photo mode game shots, I know who's in there, but let's go to the image critique session. Okay, so there's a lot of submissions in here, Vanessa. Look at this, look at this.
I'm excited.
Look at this.
I'm excited.
It's going, it's going, it's going. So we're gonna just go for it. You guys ready? I wanna see everybody type ready in the chat if you're ready for the critique. Rules are, you gotta be here, and 2, don't be a jerk in the chat. I will chuck you out. Vanessa will do it for sure.
I will personally.
Oh, Chloe Saber. Oh, that's Sabertooth Chloe from the Sunday show. Welcome, Chloe. She's always leaving gift codes in the Discord. What filter are you using? Daniel looks good with this filter. Yeah, Snapchat's gonna pay me $1 million for this face filter. Same glasses though.
The VJoy filter.
The VJ filter. Okay, cool. Oh, can you read the this one?
Oh, that one too. Okay, yeah.
Put up the disco link.
The disco link.
It's right
should be pasted.
there.
Yeah.
Boom. Cool. And then pin it.
I can do these things. I'm just saying.
Well, you're not doing it when I ask you to.
Well, you're jumping over me.
I said like for you to put the thing there. You're like, no, I'm busy talking to people. I want to talk to the people. And I'm like, put the link in.
Bill Burr.
You got something in your teeth, like
Do
right
I?
on that
Really?
tooth, right there. That's, you know you do too. You went right to it.
I haven't eaten anything in so long, which means this has been here for like 6 hours.
But let's just take a minute.
I hate you so much.
You wish you hated me.
I
You
know,
want to
I
hate
really
me.
do
You want to hate me.
Can we pull up a picture now, Juan?
All right, let's do this, everybody. All right, first up on the docket, boom.
I think you're going to need to pick this out.
Oh my God, it's really spot welded there. It's so spot welded in there. Here, look.
I have to pin a comment.
Wait.
I can't do that right now. I have to pin a comment.
Wait, look at your tooth.
Oh, that one?
This is what our live stream is. Oh, you got most of it. All right.
I got it.
This is how we're starting the first critique. Okay, atta girl. Knew you had it. Where's the? What are you doing?
I pinned it. That's
No. All right.
This is mine.
Play
That's
nice,
yours.
kids. Wow. Actually, they're both mine, but okay. All right, so this is how we started
What's
off.
yours
We
is
gave
mine.
you guys. So B. Stevens, are you in the chat? This guy's been on a lot of my Twitch channel stuff, and I know that we're also international. Like some people, this is like 6 hours late in the day for them. So let me know if you're in there. Usually Vanessa's the bossy one, not Seth. I think we kind of both get at it.
He's always the bossy one.
All right, so I don't see B. Stevens. If he does pop up, let him know that we are looking for him. Manfred.
Manfred.
Oh, B. Stevens is here. Let's take a
he's
look
here.
at B.
Yay,
Stevens.
Brandon. All right, let's do this.
Okay, so let's take a look. We got a nice studio shot going on here. She looks like she's a makeup artist. I'm going to say that by just...
How happy she is?
Well, the makeup artists usually have like this uniform of the hat, all black, and then they have really tight makeup, and that's what it kind of looks like.
Your makeup artists are very different from my wedding makeup artist, but go ahead. Mine show up in their pajamas.
Well, honestly, I would rather them just show up in their pajamas to get the job done than, whatever, let's just go.
Can we talk about the picture now?
So we have a pretty clean commercial white backdrop, right? I don't see any flare. I don't see any fall off, meaning that it's going to gray in areas unless my screen's weird. Let me just take this off and boost it. Yeah,
Actually,
there
are
we go.
you slightly zoomed in on this?
Am I slightly zoomed in?
Yes, you are.
Well, I do that so we can get a good look. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Right off the bat, I think you got a nice clean white backdrop on this if you're looking for that. One thing that you want to watch when you're doing a white backdrop is that your exposure value of the wall isn't too great to burn away the hair. I'm seeing flyaways. I'm seeing, not flyaways, but like I'm seeing those random strands, so that's good, right? We're seeing some nice stuff. But let's look at the light on her. What do you think about the light on her?
I would love to see some light in her eyes.
There's nothing.
No catch light in her eyes, so they kind of go dead. The whites of her eyes are very dark gray, and you can't even tell the difference between the iris and the pupil because there's really no light going in her eyes, no catch light.
Yeah, a really simple fix to this is get your studio lighting tight. And I know she has huge eyelashes, and I deal with that a lot in the makeup industry, and it's hard to get light in there. But
So true.
what you can do is get your studio lighting tight and then just have a tiny flash, a speed light, a pop-up light, dialed down all the way just to give you a catch light in the eye, but not affect the shot. Does that make sense? So if, let's say, for argument's sake, you were shooting this at f8, you could dial your speed light or whatever's on the camera or what's by the camera down all the way in power till it needs like f2 to even make an exposure, but at least the catch light will appear in the eye.
Yeah, and that's really what gives it life. She does have a really great expression, and actually, I like the light on her otherwise. It gives her a little bit of a jawline, a little bit of a cheekbone, but the eyes are where everyone goes to. So definitely work on getting in there. And by the way, in addition to eyelashes, you know, some people just have more sunken in eyes, so it becomes really difficult to
I'm used to that though. I deal with a lot of sunken in eyes with all the zombies and aliens. But that being said, I think you did a pretty good job as far as not creating a dull, bland light, because that usually happens pretty easily with a white background. We get this like super commercially look, but no feel to it. She is making an expression that will squint the eye, but like she said, if you had a catch light in there, and the easy way to get a catch light is just have something that sparks that just reflects out of the eye, but doesn't affect the image exposure, if that makes sense. Does that make sense, everybody in the chat? I know we're on a delay, and this drives me crazy when I do these. What do you think about that, the glint idea?
The glint idea?
With the spark of a speed light or something?
That could work, as long as it doesn't mess up the rest of everything else.
Just got to dial it down.
Yeah.
You just got to dial it down. That's all. I add the light to the eye. What?
Oh, you probably after the fact in post or
Well,
yeah, because there is that. You could go in Photoshop and take your eraser tool and just do that, but then you get that weird glowing eye look.
But let's say you're doing a bunch of corporate headshots and they need them that day.
Yeah, you don't
Good
really want
luck.
to do that to all of them. That's
So
for
just be
sure.
aware of that. You might not need that trick with everybody, but that's one of them. Okay, I think that was pretty fair, right? Let's move on.
I think so.
All right, do we have Manfred in the chat? Oh, looks like we're getting into my world a little bit over here.
That's not my world, that's for sure.
No,
By the
Manfred?
way, Jimmy is not spinning photos. He just said he's here to watch the two of us break each other's.
Nice. All right, so I don't see any Manfred. We're going to move on. Meanwhile, I've missed this guy twice on my own channel with this image. He was just so I can only critique when you guys are here. Wow, this is really warm. All right, Smallfield Tom, are you here? Smallfield Tom?
You know what we should do? We should call out 3 people's names at a time. That way we know, like, we don't have to wait 30 seconds.
I got you.
I really like to streamline things in my life.
Christian, we would know Christian's in the chat. He's very boisterous.
I would have seen Christian.
The photography
here.
elite. You were one of my first 3 shout outs on Adorama Rewind, so there's that. Smallfield Tom is here. All right, Tom, let's go back. Smallfield Tom. Okay, right off the bat, you know what I'm going to say.
You don't like the preset.
It's a pretty processed image and thus gives us a filter between us and connecting with the image. That's the way I look at it. Is like you get more caught up in what was done to it than the actual image.
I agree. For me, it always dates things when you're using the preset. But let's get past the preset and talk about the pose.
Go for it.
Well, in general, when you want to have somebody look off camera, it's actually pretty difficult to do if you still see the eyes. You want them looking off so they're not looking at camera, but you don't want them looking off so much that you see so much of the whites of their eyes. Do you know what that's called? It's like the
sclera.
Sclera? Yeah, sclera. That's what it is.
Yeah, because sclera contacts cover the entire eye.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So she is just slightly looking away too much for me anyway. And when I work with, models or anybody, I'm always kind of messing with it. Follow my eyes here, here, here. Nope, nope. Okay, right there. That's the spot. I want to see a little bit of white on both sides. And not as much where it is. I actually would have liked to see her looking at the camera here, and I'm sure you probably have a variation of that.
Right, so that's part of the thing is, right, editing the actual which shots to put up, but we can only go by what you selected, so most of the time you guys can be like, well, I have that shot, but that's not the one you submitted, and thus if you're going for a job or a client, they're gonna go by what your taste is of showing them the image. Having said that, I'm gonna disagree with Vanessa here on the eyes. I would have given it to you if I didn't see the rest of an eyeball on this right here. If it was just like slammed to the side, but I have more of an issue with the movement of the head so far that we widen out her jawline. See, I don't need all this. I'd rather her pitch a little bit to me, a little more, let this jawline cut this way a little bit more, shorten the length of it, give her a bit of a more of a defining shot. I see where you're saying, looking off.
I disagree with your pose because she's actually in that perfect 3/4 because her nose isn't cutting her eye. So if you wanted that 3/4 look away look, her head is in a good position for that.
Right, and that's fine. I'm saying if she...
It's the light that's making her...
If she gave me 20 degrees more towards me and just shortened that jawline a little bit, I like the looking off. However, when I have models look off, I make them look at whatever my light source is that's lighting them and then roll their eye just below it or to the side of it so that we don't get a weird catch light and it looks more towards camera just a little bit.
They asked to boost my mic, so I'm just...
Your mic's... Here, I got you.
Thanks.
I think
want him to stop talking.
Oh, shut up. You just hate when I'm right.
Well, right is subjective in art.
Ow. Oh.
God, karma's a real friend to me.
Oh, that's right on my bone.
Yeah, well, you suffering that. So I think her jaw wouldn't have looked as big had he just walked around to the other side there, because she's broad lit. So, her cheek, everything, jaw looks kind of flat.
Well, this also is an opened up shadow. I mean, this is a processed image where the shadows are opening up. So we're losing sculpt right there.
That's true.
So we don't even know what the actual natural light could have been, especially when color saturation changes, the depth of shadow. There's no blacks in this. Look, this would be a black. This would be black.
I'm talking to Dan.
Yeah, I get it. I'm trying to talk to you. We're doing this. This would have been black had this been an actual natural light. But it's not, it's processed. And this is the problem with processing, is that we're not looking at an actual documented image, we're looking at an interpretation of a scene by the photographer. Now, whether it's successful as far as people absorbing it
I was just gonna say, I bet you the client loves this.
Then that's fine. Seth, you should know that even when you're right, you're not right. You can get out of my chat.
He's not married, he doesn't know that.
I mean, I might need married, I've been to Vegas enough.
Oh, God.
I had no idea. But yeah, so that's where I stand on that. Also, the processing on this leads to a pumped up red magenta line, which leads to this vein popping over here.
I know, on her eyes.
And that's from the color grading. That's not from anything. That probably would have been subsidized had there been more blues and greens or even cyans in this color grading. Am I on that? Are you on that? Okay.
I am. I'm totally with you on that.
Having said that, I like the motion of it. I like the movement of the hair. I'm in there. It's just too much of like a painting instead of a shot to me, and therefore it doesn't. I'm wondering more about what this really was than what I'm given. Is that fair?
Yeah, yeah. It's also hard to, when you're doing portraits or photographing families, things like that, you have this kind of style right now, but where are you going to be in 1 year or 2 years when they hire you again? And, they want to build a wall collage, a staircase, and pictures going up, and then it's all your photography and all the processing changes, and then it all doesn't match and look good on the wall.
Well, it's also...
I think about the way you sell things, so that's...
There's that, but there's also sometimes people just get jarred by looking so differently in an image than what they actually know. So, like, you shoot a lot of relatives of people, they want to remember what they looked like on that wedding day, and then over-processing kills that. How many times have you seen how to shoot portraits and the thumbnails like the girl blitzed with Photoshop to look plastic? Is that a portrait?
Of Barbie.
That being said, I think if you went back to this image and just dialed back the post-processing just a little bit so you could see what actually was shot, you might actually come out with a successful image aside from what's going on. Because right now she looks like she rubbed her eyes.
Yeah.
It's kind of a little nuts. Let's look at your other image.
Yeah, I want to look at the other image too. But if you do have that image unprocessed or you can reprocess it, throw it in the Discord. I want to see it.
Okay, so here we go. We're going into some grayscale, which I think Small Field Tom, we've talked about grayscale on my Twitch channel a lot. You know I'm a big stickler on grayscale. black and white, so to speak. Okay, so
I love her facial expression.
I hate her body pose.
What do you hate about it?
Well, does she have indigestion? Is she having is she going into contraction? Well, I mean, what's really happening?
Well, she doesn't look pregnant, so she's not going.
I mean, it's just not natural feeling, and it feels like she's really overselling something. Like if you go like this, look at how without that tragedy that's happening below, look what you get, right? You know, sometimes, I mean, and honestly, I bet you have a shot where she's more organically posed, I'd say.
So here's the thing, when you are posing arms, there's a lot of psychology that goes behind posing arms. Her arm that's in front is at a perfect right angle. A right angle conveys strength, which is kind of the opposite of what her face is conveying. Because think of how, like, you go to hold a heavy box, right? What do? You hold your arms at a right angle like this to hold the heavy box. If you want to articulate grace, you would have an obtuse angle.
Obtuse. Which is greater than 90 degrees.
Very good. You paid attention in high school math.
Well, I know what scalene is also. So.
Do you? Very exciting. So that's more graceful, more relaxed. If you want something that's a little bit more creating tension or vulnerability, that's when you would go to an acute angle and have that come in. And I feel like with this photo, I would like to see an acute angle. And then you have a little bit more room to play with her arm or her hand, because right now it's just the palm of her hand. And for me, it's competing for attention because it's the same like grayscale as her face. So if it were up here and you could do this, show the side, more graceful.
I get all your posing stuff and I understand, I respect it. No, listen, I get it, because you're dealing with a lot of people that need to have some coaching, like brides that aren't really models, whatever. That's great. But my big thing is getting a moment that feels like she would actually be standing there like that. I want to see natural poses, because most of the time when you shoot someone in an environment, the first thing you do is watch where they gravitate to. Oh, it's that wall. Let's go shoot on that wall, because there's some reason they went to that in subconscious reason. Here, let her relax. Put the hands in the pockets. Do whatever. There's no reason someone, like, there's nothing she, like, what is happening? She gets shot in the thigh. What happened? I mean, to me, I'd rather see a person being who they are and you being able to find the beauty in that than having to work hard to pose someone in a way that doesn't feel organic, and thus you're not giving credibility to the viewer to actually be part of the image as a viewer. They're just going like, oh, you're selling me something. Yeah, I really believe she's walking around like that. Is she a nurse from Silent Hill? I mean, I just don't get the whole idea. You know, I'm not trying to be mean, but we have to think about these things. And I think a lot of times as photographers, especially when you're starting out, you get caught up in like what you've seen out there and you try to mimic it as far as poses go.
Very
but sometimes shoot her. I mean, don't shoot, but like, photograph her.
Well, but again, what you're saying is the same thing. It's human psychology. You look at that and think that's not how she would be. Posing comes down to that.
So Alvin is asking, would you want to see the back of the hand? Sometimes I think just going like this on a lapel easily, if you give them something to do, they stop thinking about what they're doing. Think about it. Hey,
Did you get that from my posing class?
Is that what you say?
Yeah, you were there.
I pose aliens and zombies all day. Believe me, I have to deal with this. No, if you just have them grab the lapel and just watch for the moment where they stop thinking about what they're doing here and then relax into it, that's an organic pose. That's something somebody would really be doing. Am I on the ball on that one?
Dan says, or James says that she bumped her elbow. That's, yeah. Anyway, but I do like, yeah.
I do. Her face is beautiful.
I know. What about the light? How do you feel about it?
It's an overcast day. That's what you're going to get.
Yep, and it looks natural. Maybe a little reflector would have lit up her eyes a smidge if you wanted.
But I would be with you on that if it was color, but because it's black and white, we're focusing on shadow of, we take away the distraction of color, we look at geometrics, texture, shape, tones, and all I care about is her bone structure here. I don't really care so much about anything that way. But a reflector would give you another option. But sometimes you over beautify things and they stop looking candid and organic. But she is obviously overposed here, so she bumped her elbow. I keep seeing that one line, she bumped her elbow. Manfred.
Oh, Manfred's here. Yay. He was in the Facebook chat. He was like, get me out of there.
Having said that, I think your tone, being that this is a low res image, the tones are okay for me. But if I did what I usually do on my Twitch channel and I show you guys, this is not the way you do it, but see, I can actually see there's blacks in it, which is nice. The whites could probably use a little bit of a bump, but I would crunch down the midtones a little bit. And even still, look at how slight my adjustment is. So I think your tones are like pretty good for grayscale, because it's not gray on gray, it's black and white, and you want to have deep blacks but information in your shadows. You want to have popping whites but information in your highlights. So that's kind of my rule of thumb. I think you did a good job there, so you should be pretty psyched. That being said, I bet you have a pose on this shoot that you nailed, I promise.
And likely it's not the same expression that you wanted, so you went for expression, which is probably a good choice.
But even if that's the case, right? Even if that's the case, what's wrong with just eliminating the part that,
yeah. Because even seeing a little bit of her hand there, I'm okay with.
Well, even if you did it as a horizontal, I mean, this is going to be so low res, but not so much.
No.
But
I do like it vertical.
You would have had to have punched in with a longer focal length to get what I'm talking about. All right, let's take a break from small field, Tom.
Go to Manfred, because he's here.
All right, I know you submitted these to my critique. I don't know if I got to them. You might not have shown up.
Oh, and Christian said he's here too.
Oh, of course Christian's here. All right. Your lighting needs some work on this one for sure. We have some massive fall off on the background, which isn't my biggest problem. My biggest problem is that you're hitting hard to one side of the face. Your exposure isn't there, and neither is the shaping of the light itself. There's no real light theory here. This feels like a point and pray moment for the light.
Well, it is at least over to the side. You got a little cheekbone action going on there, but I see what you mean.
Yeah, it's just that
It's very difficult to, I think, in my opinion, to light the face evenly, because when you're looking at it, you don't see it quite as much as like noticing. Like he's trying to shoot on the short side, which is great, but then the broad side really of her face is overlit, like you're saying, and it's difficult to position. How could he position that better?
Well,
which direction?
First of all, I would have made it. Forget about the gray background, because the gray background is just like a neutral. Something that's not going to fight my subject. What I would have done is pulled the light further closer.
It's been 10 minutes.
I am so tired.
Actually, it's been half an hour.
I've been here forever. Yeah. Pulling the light more towards you, let it feather across her more, and that way you wouldn't have such a hot spot to one side and would have more of a wash and still have an inverse square moment where it does go to a shadow. Also, it would have been more even on the background and not cause this heavy dark shadow to this side. Even if that's the case, you could have just cropped in a little bit, not that much, but let's do this. I keep on doing this.
You love working in Photoshop.
Shut up. You know I don't work in Photoshop, but even just, actually, it's not even like an organic constraint, but
no,
just getting away from all this flyaway action, just to get away from that distraction of a bright background. Yeah, we have this fall, but imagine that you had that even wash I was talking about, and then this wasn't so blown out. You'd have more of an even image. You have so much information there that I don't care about and that I don't need. It doesn't do anything for the viewer. Thus, it can't do much for the photograph itself.
Can I say something about the expression?
Yeah, of course.
So serious expressions are probably one of the hardest things. It is for me, you know that. But one thing you can tell a model that you're working with is tell her to take a deep breath in through her mouth and out, or not even a model, anyone. I do this with my brides all the time when I want a serious expression, because just the action of them slightly opening their lips, it relaxes their lips, it relaxes the jaw, and it's going to have a much more pleasing effect, because right now she's kind of pursing her lips slightly. Yeah. So just have them take a deep breath in. You can make them exaggerate too, like, and chest goes up, shoulders go down.
See, the way I do that to give it a little more of an organic tick, not that that's bad, but the way I do it, because I deal with a lot of makeup students, right? And they're like 17-year-olds that are very awkward. And the way I do it is I have them close their eyes, take a deep breath in, and release that breath through their mouth. And as soon as they feel that breath, I let them running out. I let them open their. I don't let them. I tell them to open their eyes slowly. And as they're opening their eyes slowly, their mouth's already relaxed. Their eyes are relaxed. And once you get that one spot where it's completely relaxed, the whole face is dropped. What you have here is what most people would consider like, oh, that looks like drama. It really doesn't when it's clearly in a studio and you know that you're working with this person. So there's something to deal with that. So relax the face just by having them get their mind off of the fact that they're being photographed.
Any kind of distraction is good.
Yeah, punch them in the face. That'd be great. Is that what you just said? That's what you just said, right?
But yeah, it's definitely what I just said.
Let's talk about your other image though, because this is kind of...
This is like all you.
This is like all me. So the first thing my problem with blood in images is there has to be a reason. And it's either they're bleeding or it came from somewhere. One, do some research on what blood splatter really is about, because this might be trying to play off as if someone grabbed their face, but this isn't actually how blood works as far as that. And if it was, she wouldn't have a clean line from her nose. That being said, this highlight right here, I know it's killing you.
Oh, sorry. I was just wondering what people are now going to go Google when you said go look at blood splatter, but yeah.
I mean, this
we
is
are
what I
not
do.
liable for what you find on Google.
Whatever, man. I deal with more fake blood than anybody. But it just there's no scene here. There's no context here. It's just a girl with maybe a bloody print on her. What? And you have some Gavin Hoey fog going on back there, which is cool.
I like the depth.
The depth, the blue, it's nice. It plays with it, but it's not a sellable scene, context, or reasoning for the blood. Therefore, it's just kind of like a gimmick. And if you're shooting a gimmick, you're not really shooting an image for context.
Someone wants to submit, so I'm just giving them the link. I'm still paying attention.
Word to the wise, we may not get to all the images. You can see at the pace that we're going.
Should we just go one per person?
I
think that might be fair.
Whatever. But that being said, I mean, she's already got her makeup done. It's almost like, hey, we got our makeup done. Let's do some shoot. Oh, okay. Hey, I bought this thing of fake blood. Let's put it in there. Instead of becoming, well, how can I evolve this to being a reason that there's blood in there? Throwing something into a set doesn't make it successful. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not just like a bland image, but oh my God, who's texting me?
What about the lighting on this for you?
It's pretty standard 45, right? It's 45 up, 45 over.
For me, I'm thinking it's very soft for such a rough situation.
See, I don't mind it being soft. What I do mind is that it's very generic. Like if she's in this situation, there's no way there's perfect lighting for her face. The real hard part of lighting stuff like this is making light that looks good, but also makes lighting that looks like they're in a situation. So what would she be in? What type of situation would she be in? Well, maybe there'd be just like a light bulb swinging from a ceiling because she's in some like crazy warehouse. Or maybe she's escaping from somewhere and that's why she's bloody. If you had her like this, running out of a closet or something with only that light lighting her, but you actually use some artificial light to clean it up but not make us realize to use other lighting is really where it's at.
Chloe said maybe she's just super into jam but doesn't have a spoon.
Chloe loves doing this to me over and over again. But you see what I'm saying? You have to evolve the reason that there's blood, and after you do that, you can understand where your lighting should be for this. Does that make sense to you, bud?
Use your imagination. You have a wild imagination.
Evolve it. Evolve the context. Vanessa doesn't know that a 1 hour actually means 4 hours in Seth time.
Yes, I do.
I just talk a lot. I'm from Brooklyn.
Yeah, that makes
sense.
All
right, Smallfield Tom, I'm going to skip this third one. We gave you two. I think it's only fair to move on. Christian, you're in the chat. I know we talked about this on my Twitch channel. Again, twitch.tv/LastXWitness. You guys are welcome to join me there.
You're also welcome to join me on YouTube.
Meow, 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 meow. She actually has a really great YouTube channel. I said this was a great shot. I like that he didn't go for the obvious, like, cut in there and only get the guitar in the face. I want to see the entire attitude. The fact that he got the stage lighting on there, but it's not a distraction. Yeah, the face is in shadow, but I feel like I'm at that concert, and that's what makes it successful to me, is that it doesn't have to be super clean. It doesn't have to be over-polished. It doesn't feel like a set-up studio shot. I feel like I'm in that pit.
See, it does feel set up because he's camera aware.
Oh no, he's camera aware, but it's not like, hey, let's set up this fake light in the background. Let's set up this, and it's not overly polished on the face. Once it's overly polished on the face, I'm like, What would have been cool is if you saw this blue light flying everywhere and you put a blue light on your flash and still cleaned up the shadows, but made it match the atmosphere lighting. Just a little bit. Like I'm talking about like a stop off of whatever that lighting is, just to break open that shadow cold.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. I like the fact that you got the complementary colors in there.
Yeah.
The blues and the orange, warm and cold.
It's totally, that's totally like the lighting director of that stage putting that together. But I just like that the way he framed it. So he knew that was a complete frame, not to like do the whole like, it's only this, bro. Like, no, like where's his foot? Where's his leg going? You know, or like, no, look at this. He's looking right at me. Look, I got a shot. And it's like, no, this is the frame. I like that. I think he did a good job. And I think this shows someone who's experienced with shooting from a pit.
Mm-hmm. Which is not easy to do at all. At all.
Especially while you're like crashing into people.
Yeah.
I mean, he's said stories. Christian was actually one of the Rewind shout out of the weeks, and I'm pretty glad that it helped him out. As someone who plays on stages a fair amount, you get shots like this a lot because big shows will have photography between the pit and the stage. That's true, but there's a lot of people that will be in that pit and not understand framing. The whole thing, so when you're shooting an event, or a concert, you're at the mercy of whatever the light is. Your job is to elevate the image by composition and framing, and maybe like
if
lens
you can
play.
add your own, yeah.
Yeah, that's about it. Showing love for my Ado peeps. Oh my God, it's Steve from upstairs. Yeah, Steve, you still have a bad screen name even on YouTube, buddy.
Aw, that's not nice.
All right, let's take a
What
look.
else we got here?
Christian.
Should we do one? I feel like we should do one from everyone. That's fair.
You want to do one from everyone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of people here.
Okay, so we got 3 from Misfit Photomat. Are you in here, Misfit?
And then who else we have after that? So we can call a few people, see if they're in here.
Jorge Romo. I feel like I've seen this on my
Latin Legacy.
Latin Legacy.
Anyone here?
Latin Legacy is New York. I know that guy's from New York. Anybody?
In the meantime,
Anybody?
I'm here for 10 seconds. See?
All right.
We just critiqued you.
All right, Christian.
Rewind.
I'll see you on my Twitch channel, buddy. You've submitted stuff like crazy. I think you're even in.
All right. Divide by Zero Error is here, but which one are you, darling?
Yeah, everyone has different names in the Discord. This is the first one. We're going to be a little subpar. By the way, this cat's name is Twinkle Wish.
Aw, Twinkle.
He has more pictures of this cat than everything I've ever seen in my life. Every day he drops.
So Misfit Photomat.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Misfit
He's here.
Photomat. Okay,
Pick your fave. Pick your fave.
we have this clown. We have this Lover's Quarrel and an Alice in Wonderland. What do you want to do?
I vote the clown.
You want to do the clown? Let's do the clown.
Actually, no.
Nope, you picked it. Done. Nope, you made the choice, lady. So what's the one thing you notice right off the bat in this image that you can't get away from?
That he can't get away from?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The bright red hair on the right. I'm not even caring about his face. I don't even care about his face. Just cropping this image alone would help. Watch. So let's go into this. Let's cut this down right there. Cut it a little. So now I have just a little bit. Oh man, come on. There we go. So let's just say I made this more of a horizontal. And now I have more of a sense. If I could have the hand up here would be ideal. But at least with this, when I crop in, just get rid of that. Just get rid of the hair. Now I'm looking at his face more, right? This is a bad crop, but you see the point I'm making? Whoops. You hear all that? Bing, 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 bing. Oh man, I can't use Photoshop, guys. I do everything in camera. Between this and this, now you're noticing the face more. He's competing with this bright spot on the red. Another instinct of like, oh, I want drama, so I'm just creating random shadows. Random shadows don't always equal drama. It equals pretty black lighting. All right?
Just for if you're, so I didn't right away look at the red hair, but there is a trick to kind of looking at your photos and seeing if there's something that's distracting. You look towards the photo and just blur your eyes so that you can see whatever is brightest pretty clearly, and then that's how you can tell where your direction probably is going to go for your viewer.
Yeah, honestly, what's great about this guy is he has this awkward symmetry to him with his hair.
He does.
I would have had him go face forward and be surrounded by this red as a framing. And then that way you have this like fire dynamic framing going on naturally for the face. Have him hold, I don't know, what is that, a bat? I guess
Yeah.
so. Hold the bat like this and just look staring straight at you. All symmetry, and then you're just noticing the grime. I mean, look how much grime is going on here. Look at all this grime that's going on here that I can't get to.
Because in addition to the hair, this is distracting to me.
Yeah,
You know, on the outfit itself.
Yeah, I mean, I would be all in on this for you, man. I'm all about the grimy, creepy, bloody awkwardness. I often shoot weddings like that.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at Ronald. Striking, I get it right from camera from the Seth Speak bingo card. I was just telling him last night that he has catchphrases. You definitely have catchphrases.
Whatever.
Thank you, Ronald, for being on my side there.
But look at this crop right here. Doesn't that engage you more?
It does. It definitely does. And I didn't think it would actually when you started cropping it, but it does.
Yeah, and honestly, if that light, again, was pulled more to you and that nose shadow shrunk more away from the cheek line right there, you would have had more on the hair. Oh, I'm pointing to it here. You'd have more on the hair here, less shadow here, even it out. If you wanted to get crazy, if you even wanted to go super gimmicky, drop the light lower and light it like a campfire. You would have had a ton. When you light from underneath, you boost texture values in your subject. All his little hairs right here would have been over texturized. His brow line would have been a shadow point.
Plus with a different color, warmer color, which is just going to add to it.
Yeah, and he's already cool toned from the bluish white makeup here, because that's a grayish tone makeup. It's not white. You would have just nailed this. I think that right now you lit this corner of the hair instead of lighting your model, and you have like a pretty bland pose. So, oh great.
They agree with me. Tons of catchphrases.
I just want to let all of you know that are on my Twitch channel that agree with Vanessa. I'm ripping away all your VIP statuses and I'm taking away your admin swords there, okay?
I won't tell guys, don't worry.
So is that fair? I think, you know, as far as it goes. And this looks like you are hired for like a haunted house cast. And I've done the same myself. And, you know, you're not going to get like the best makeup and costumes, but you can have a lot of fun with it. But just lighting from one side and just shooting doesn't really always give the best image, okay?
Who else is here, by the way? We called Latin Legacy. By the way, they are just like listing off your catchphrases, which if any of you
Math, I'm throwing you out of this chat right now. Are you kidding me? I'm sorry, I'm a working photographer, not a YouTuber.
Hey. Anyone else here? Sometimes we just gotta Seth.
Jorge Romo, are you in the chat? Latin Legacy.
Mook. That's bananas. Throwing out all your catchphrases. Keep going, guys. I want to see them all.
Here's Vanessa Joy's catchphrases. Here's 5 things you can do on a wedding day. Download my PDF. I'm just taking your email address. I'm just taking your email.
Bitter party of 1.
Whoa, Latin Legacy, no.
Who else?
Subpar.
It's Sume 1 is here. Oh, okay, good.
Photo G.
We're going down the list.
Photo G.
Anyone else?
Oh no.
Robbie Keane.
Is that Christian saying that? Shh. Christian, are you serious?
I'm hearing a lot of this.
Robbie Keane.
I hear this. Look at that bird.
I love Robbie Keane's. What I call these are bird portraits. This guy nails these because he finds these ways to make personalities out of these birds.
I mean, I know what that bird is thinking. He hates me.
It also feels like it could fit right
mad
here.
At me.
Yeah. So one thing I like is that he always finds a way to not get backgrounds that fight with the bird. Yeah. Yeah, I'll let it.
Keep going with the catchphrases. It's great. So great. See you, Christian.
Christian, I'm not going to forget that, Christian. Oh, Photo G was here. Subpar is here. Okay, we'll dial it back. We'll dial back. So like I said, I really like how
Robbie's here too. So good.
I really like how he has backgrounds that don't fight a subject matter. He always finds a way to frame a bird and then also find a background that he can.
He's using long lenses. Well, I was just gonna say. I mean, what did you shoot this on, Robbie? It's like a 300.
I'm just curious. Just curious.
It is beautiful.
Just curious. Oh, it's not gonna load. Fantastic. What if we just got rid of that headroom? And we just gave it a rule of thirds kind of thing.
No.
You want that headroom?
Yep, I want that. Because here's why. Maybe a little bit, not as much. Am I allowed to touch that? Am I allowed to do that?
You sound like my ex-wife.
That's another catchphrase. I told you that one yesterday. Yeah, but like more like that.
Yeah.
Like that. Because I almost want him to be slightly not using the rule of thirds because the look is so intense and so intimidating that it not being in the perfectly pleasing area of the rule of thirds actually makes it more intense for me.
I'm with you, but I just think that the dead area, like I like the gradation, but what I really love even more about this is he nails the exposure to a point where I see detail in white feathers.
Hey Terrence, thanks for being here for the first time. I do, I agree.
Yeah, and because you're nailing the exposure, you're getting actual color saturation, not boosted up color saturation, real color saturation. I mean, look at this.
Sharp,
look at this. Would you shoot this with Robbie? I know you have like a 300 and a 500, right?
I would have guessed 5 on this one.
I think this is nailed. I love it. I also want to like hold this bird. 400, 2.8 with a teleconverter. Okay.
So great.
Nice job, Robbie. But Robbie, you were the very first shout out on Adorama Rewind, and this is why, bud. You are killing it. You are killing it. All right, let me go back to where were we? What is going on here? No, I don't know what just happened. Okay, whatever.
Chloe says that my personal favorite Seth catchphrase is "right, kids," but that's just because I have father issues.
That's because I have what?
Father issues. Hey, yeah. Go to subpar.
Subpar. Mm-hmm.
Because he's here. I think he's below. He's with the kitty.
I know he's with the kitty. Twinkle Wish.
There he is.
Twinkle Wish. We talked about this, right? He's like, when he first submitted this on my Twitch channel, he was like, I'm sad I cut the whiskers. To me, I think it's too center heavy. and I really just wanted to shave the top just a touch.
I actually want to see more. I want to see him like looking little, and I would have loved to see him in the lower thirds with more happening on top.
It's one or the other. It's either you're going tight or you're giving us the environment. You know, you have all these lines leading up with the head, and I think but as far as the shot itself, just to give it a little bit of an extra, shave the top a bit, give me just the top of those whiskers, and now I love this. You can see the dome on this eye. Man. This cat is the prettiest cat ever. It poses in every shot this guy drops.
Aww, so sweet.
I also think that you did a great job in exposure because I can see every detail in all the white fur lines of this cat. So nice job on that. Nice use of depth of field. He didn't blow out, you know, like so wide that we lose the ear. I think that would have sucked.
I think the coloring in general is great, like having him on gray, but still using the light to bring him away from the background and the focal length and everything.
Yeah, it's a good thing you didn't use frequency separation on this cat.
This is true.
You would have lost all of it. Well, you know, frequency separation, whatever. But I think...
see what you did there.
Yep. And it's also a good spot to realize that there's fall off in the background because all we're getting out of this is an incidental monochromatic image with a nice warm tone spot on the eyeball.
You're a backwards person. Okay, yeah, like right there.
All right, this is only going to work if you stay in the conversation with me because I'm not going to keep...
I am. I'm saying that's where I would like it to crop if you're going to do it. And then you got the whiskers ending on the both sides.
And what did I just say about the monochromatic? Exactly.
Nope, didn't listen there.
Atta girl.
Yeah, because you're busy touching stuff.
You're busy touching stuff. All right, but that's what I'm saying. I think that having the fall off of the light on the wall to go grayscale against the gray of the cat and then having this warm tone, just one little tiny moment is what locks us into this cat. And the fact that we're talking this much about a freaking cat photo
says a lot.
Yeah, it says a lot. So nice job, guy. And of course, you have the easiest cat in the world to shoot, so knock yourself out with that. Photo G, you're in here. I saw you, right, bud? Okay, so we have a long exposure, but that long exposure kind of has a bit of shake to it where it should be sharp. So what's happening here? You could either be having wind differential because you are on a tripod that might be shaky. There could be noise issues from overheating. There's all sorts of things.
I was going to say it's not a depth of field problem at all because you see the starburst over there on the right.
That being said, I think the framing is pretty good for what we're looking at. I do wish you completed this sign over here. Just finish it. Because now I just wish that was my frame point right there, unless there was something there that I'm missing, but it's pretty good overall.
I think a really good job. I mean, I agree with the edge of the sign, but composition overall is really nice. The horizon line is in the lower thirds. You're starting people with the left and moving them up
it's not straight.
Through the image, you know? It flows, definitely.
Yeah, it's good. You might have even been successful with this image having not have been that long of an exposure. Just getting enough streaks and not letting it hang open for so long that you get that vibration happening in the background.
Well, because you're also, you know, next to a highway, it seems, and, you know, that
there's all
moves
sorts
the
of
tripod.
Stuff. That also being said, this might have been...
10-second exposure.
Yeah, that's a bit much. And you could tell that it's cranked down because of the starburst here. So your aperture's cranked down low to get those bursts and those stars. Also, what might have been cool here, just as a side note, as important as the frame of the landscape is the time of day of the landscape. Had this been at twilight, had this been at a breaking point, we would not have seen this just like murked out background, but we would have seen a dynamic character aspect to this. Like it would be its own entity as the sky in this playing a role as much as anything else.
Yeah, that twilight right after sunset, killer time. Killer time. You submit images, by the way, with that Discord link that I put right there, Mr. Dev.
All right, there's more from, Tank.
And Tank's here, we said hi.
Tank, so Tank has a tendency of submitting in-game mode, photo mode shots from a game. This is actually a real photo, so I'm actually proud of him on this one.
Aww.
What I like about this is lots of dynamic lines. He didn't look for just like a straight up shot. We have the reflection, all the glass matching the reflection off of this. We have texture in the sky. Everything is busy, but nothing's competing and nothing feels like I'm losing focus here.
It's interesting because when I first look at it, I'm looking at the geometric thing behind him and I almost think it's distracting, but it works.
Right? Yeah.
Right? Because of where it actually makes contact and because everything is larger on the left and kind of scales down.
And we're dealing with a series of patterns also, right? Like multiple of this, multiple of these yellow, multiple of these steps, you know, multiple of these mountains. Like it's all so busy, yet everything can hold its own.
Right.
It's having a perfect conversation.
It is having a conversation. What is
I've done these crits before. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
I got some Blue
it's in
Hour.
Vancouver.
Yeah, Blue Hour on that last photo would have been nice too.
These guys are like the new Northrop, Seth and Vanessa Joy.
Oh
Nice.
boy.
No,
Glad we can't hold our own.
We are much more weird.
Glad we have to be identified to other people. All right, let's go into Tank. Good job, buddy. You've already submitted this image to my critique,
Yeah,
and
I was
I
gonna
featured
say I
it.
saw this on the Twitch.
And I featured it on Rewind. You're welcome for that shout out, buddy.
Is
Sabretooth Chloe, is she still in here?
it says Saber Mook Chloe.
Well, she changed it.
Did
Is
she?
she still in the chat?
I'm sure Chloe's still here.
Hey, Devin, what's up, man?
ago.
Devin is this week's shout of the week on Rewind. I know everybody on Adorama TV, man. This is getting.
You live here.
I know.
This is your life.
Yeah, well, thanks, bud.
These are
I don't
the
live here.
days of our lives.
I don't live here. I have a
That's
studio
your
I have to
bed
shoot.
right there. No, I'm just kidding.
Anyone who has a bed in their studio, you're just asking to be brought up on charges. All right. Sabretooth Chloe, you in the chat? I don't know if she left or not. I hope she's still here.
Hopefully. Well,
The chat's frozen, too.
No, people were just talking.
I think the chat's frozen.
I'm here.
There she is.
There
Okay.
she is. Oh, I must have scrolled up.
So Chloe actually doesn't consider herself a photographer. She's just submitting for the fun of it. And we can talk about this being backlit. However, I don't really mind it because it feels, I know that she's not approaching it as a photographer. She's approaching it as a moment or as something that's organic to her. So let's open the actual image itself. So what could she have done? I think if she could adjust the exposure to show me the pattern in this blinds and have the silhouette playing off of the blinds, like, you know how the silhouettes like bleed into blinds, like they, I think that'd be super cool, but then we'd lose the guitar completely.
Well, but I think with the body language, you might be able to still get it.
Let's take a look.
And then also with the silhouette, if you go to a silhouette with that, just have your subject look to the right or left, so it's not just kind of blobby, but you have some definition in a face, so you can more easily tell that it's a body.
So that's what it would look like as a silhouette?
I see. I can still tell it's a guitar.
I think she'd have to play games with the dropping down a little bit and shooting upward, but I think the silhouette would have been strong here. That being said, you saw something you wanted to photograph?
On an iPhone 4.
Yeah. So you could have tapped on your phone screen on the window and it would have exposed just for the window and then dropped him down to a silhouette, and then you could have played games with the shape of him with the guitar. Does that make sense? Please look at my shot. We're going in order, Daniel.
We are going in order, but Daniel, now that I know you're here, let me know. Curio. So if we see that, we know he's here.
Robbie Keane. We just did
Ryan
Buck.
Ryan
Buck, you sent me some coffee, man. It was great. Thank you so much.
Oh, this is the guy that sends the coffee?
Yes.
I get jealous every time I see
He sends me pictures.
I know, I get so jealous.
What I love about this guy is he sends me pictures of himself roasting the coffee, and it's like, that's the kind of photography I like because you know he's connected to it and you can see what he's seeing, and I wouldn't see what he's looking at when they're roasting because I don't know what I'm doing.
Have you ever been to like a coffee roasting place?
I have not.
Went to one in Hawaii. I found it so fascinating. So fascinating.
All right.
Ryan
Destiny
Panko.
Destiny Panko.
Oh, Ryan Buck is here.
Ryan Buck is here. Okay, Ryan. Ryan's a bit of an old school. I know he shoots with like Speedotron packs and all sorts of weird gear. So why don't you kick this off because I feel like this is in your realm here.
Definitely my wheelhouse. So maternity, I will say, is probably one of the most difficult things to photograph because you have a woman who is larger than she normally is but doesn't want to feel that way. So a way that you can help this is starting on the bottom. So her feet, she's very flat-footed, which I could tell by the pose even if I had just seen her from the waist up. But her feet are flat. You want to change that. Have her lean on the back leg and really bend the front leg and kind of have it cross her body. That's just going to give her some shape. That's not going to, especially with a dress like that, it's going to let it flow. It's going to look better, but then it's also going to make the belly more pronounced, which you want that part to be pronounced. So the other thing you want to make sure that you do, hand placement is actually good, but have her bring her elbow back slightly so you get separation between her arm and the waist. And then that's going to make it be like, no, she's all baby, not
she's all baby.
Everything else, which is what every pregnant woman wants to hear. You're all baby.
Can I chime?
Sure.
Okay, so here's the things I think you could have changed to make this a really dynamic image. One, forget about the light source that's hitting here. She has this see-through material that's letting this yellow burn through. Cool. Let it burn through and let the light shape her out, and then let the dark on this side be killed or opened up a little bit by the light coming through this. You would have had to have staged a little bit, like separate the dress from her to let the light, this yellow, burn through a little bit. But I think this part's strong if it was over the entire background and you let her be a silhouette herself. Then you would have had this line like this. Then you would have had this gone dark. And then this would sing through to show the rest of her without showing all of her. And then she'd be more of a geometric in her own world because she's not completely lit and flattened out and kind of like just a block kind of lighting.
Yeah.
You would have had more of a shape study here, which I think would have been great.
Which actually, if you had repositioned her feet, you would have seen, you could have more easily posed the dress to kind of go out.
So if you did that posing with my lighting, I think it would have been...
Bam.
Boom. It'd have been like a Vanessa Miranda.
No.
No, it'd have been like
that's not going to be a thing.
It would be a Seth Joy?
A Joy Randa?
A breathe your bloody zombie? A breathe your bloody zombie.
That's not nice. You guys in the chat, you can play with their names a little bit, see if you can find something that'll be fun.
That's not going to cause anything.
Vasetta? Vasetta.
No, they're going to turn us into like some internet couple.
By the way, Destiny Penko is here.
Destiny Penko is here. We are going to switch over to Twitch in a few minutes, though, guys.
We are going to switch over to Twitch, so I will put that in the chat so you guys know where to go, and I'll put it in the Facebook channel.
So be aware, we're going to finish this on the Adorama XP Twitch channel. That is right over here. You guys can go. Oh, I lost the thing. Here we go. It is right here. It looks like this. All you got to do is hit this heart. If you don't have a Twitch page, just make one really quick. It's super easy and it's barely an inconvenience. It's also free. We're gonna switch over there in a few minutes. It's tight. Does anybody else watch that Screen Rant pitch meetings? We are huge fans of it. So Vasetta.
See? I thought it was good. You can't say that.
I quit the internet.
I just like that I'm at the beginning and end of that.
Listen, guys, so do us a favor. Start filing into the Adorama Twitch. I'm going to log out of this Twitch and log into the Adorama Twitch, actually, so that it is live and waiting for you guys. Hang on a second. How do you guys feel about the critique so far? Talk to us. I know that we've been, like, not getting through a lot of images, but we can only do so much. So we are now... Create a dashboard, and I'm going to go to... Okay, so if you guys head over to twitch.tv/adoramaxp, start filling up the chat room, say what's up. Oh, followed. Beautiful, beautiful. I love you guys. Write something in the chat. Beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Look at this veal chop. It's beautiful.
Now I'm gonna get hungry.
Nah.
Where are the cookies?
Oh yeah, we do have cookies.
We do have cookies.
So we're gonna switch over to that. I'm gonna keep this live while I switch over. I'm gonna lose FaceTube really. FaceTube. I'm so tired.
You need a cookie.
All right, Hell Dog's in the chat. Welcome, Hell Dog. Oh, wait, we're not live on Twitch yet. Patty Mattis is in there. All right, we're getting a party going. We'll see you guys over on Twitch, all right?
Yeah, get into Twitch. And if you can go to the Discord and just like put a wedding image in there, because I feel like I'm not being represented.
She needs to stack the deck because she can't critique other stuff.
I can critique. No cookie for you.
All right, guys.
No cookie for you.
All right, guys,
we'll see you
do a
wedding image.
I've shot 2 weddings in my life, and I'm never doing it again. I give you all the credit in the world. I can't stand doing it.
Seth, where are those wedding pictures?
I'll show them to you if you want. They're on slide film. That's how long ago it was.
I would love to see.
Have you shot on slide film?
Your wedding.
That's our alarm. Guys, we will see you over on Twitch. Tell them stuff.
Tell them stuff. We're gonna switch to Twitch.
Atta girl. All right, guys.
If you guys aren't familiar with what Twitch is, by the way, Twitch is more for like gaming and streaming for gaming, but Adorama is on there, and they are on every Sunday between 12 and 3 doing a live show. Did you want to say something?
We also have Celtis doing digital illustrations. We have Anya doing some photo editing, and I might be doing some photo demos on there soon. And we have some big name people coming on the roster shortly. I'm just waiting to sign those contracts.
Thank you, James.
Guys.
Thank you, James.
What?
You said you're on edge, and I can do my thing.
I can't look at you in a straight face anymore. All right, guys. We'll see you on Twitch. Bye, guys.